Hi, I'm Jeff, and you're here. Before we get started, Black Lives do have and will always matter. There'll be links in the description for you to check out. And just remember, it is our responsibility to protect Black women every single day. Alright, y'all, so today is day 3 of Bookmas, and that means I'll be talking to you about my top 10 books of 2020. Now, these should come as no surprise to anyone. I don't know, we're gonna see because we're just gonna talk about it anyway, so let's go. First,
I'm gonna try to keep myself contained throughout this video, but if I just give y'all a hallelujah shout, just let me have it, okay?
This book follows Tarise. Now, Tarise is the daughter of the lady and this like genie-esque type character. She is the lady's third wish, but she's a delayed wish, right? So the lady wants to destroy the regime. She wished for a child with the genie man, but he can't have children. But they do a little magique or whatever. And he's like, okay, so what's your third wish? She's like, I want this child to basically be like a war machine, and I want to delay my third wish, but I want to be able to give her a command, and she has to fulfill that command no matter what it is. And that's the third wish. I sound like Ray J right now. If I had one wish, you would be my boo. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. That's basically what she was doing. And wow. But now Tarise is grown. Her one mission in life is to kill the prince, right? So in order to do that, she has to become close to the prince and become part of his council, the Ray Bearers. And now she don't know if that's what she wants to do. She meets the prince, she makes friends, she falls in love, she feels wanted for once in her life, and now she has to basically figure it out and save the world on her own terms. And in the meantime, her mom is looking for her like, hey yo, it's that time. And her village is looking up to her, and her people are looking up to her for her to do this one specific thing, and she's trying to tell them like, no girl, it's other way. This is the reluctant hero that we are here for at all times. Wow. Next, hold on now. We have War Girls by Tochi Onyebuchi. No surprise to anyone. This follows Onye and Ife. They are sisters in futuristic Nigeria. The year is like 2172. And they're fighting, but then we find out some things about Onye, and then we find some things out about Ife, and then there are other characters, and the technology, the world building is great. Tochi does such a good job at literally everything, but specifically world building in a way that makes you feel like it's part of the story, as opposed to some books that like they're kind of like giving you a manual and then they get into the story. The beginning was a little slow, which is my own, like Tochi books, the beginnings are always kind of a little slow for me, and that's the only, it's not really an issue because it has to start off slow, because once he gets going, it can't stop, won't stop. There is a civil war going on between the Nigerians and the Biafrans, and the Biafrans are kind of like the colonizers type or whatever. So Onye and Ife were living together. They're protected from the fighting, but unfortunately one day a dime is dropped on them, and then a bomb is dropped on them, and they're forced to be separated. And now it's 4 years later, 2176. Onye is a decorated, she's like not a mercenary, she's a soldier, right? So Onye is known as the demon of Biafra. Like, she's no joke. People are scared of her. And she's really like looking for revenge. You killed my family. I lost my sister. I don't know what to do. Y'all turned me into this monster that I didn't even want to be, right? And on the other side, Onye no, Effie, she is the student. She is doing STEM research. She wants to basically do like medical technology, and she wants to be a pilot. The sisters don't think that they're ever going to meet each other ever again, but there's a mission that happens. The mission goes wrong, and somebody accidentally drops the location of somebody else. It turns out that both of them are actually hell-bent on revenge, but different kinds of revenge. And then y'all, this book, bro, yeah, this book is the reason that Dreaded and Reddit is here, and that's just how good it was. Next we have Cinderella Is Dead by Kaylin Bayron. We're matching, no big deal, paparazzi stop. Oh my gosh. Well, no, it's not a retelling. It's like a post Cinderella world. Well, the balls are still going on because the king figured out that, King Mansford figured out that this is the best way. Girls start at the age of 16 going to their first ball. If they don't get matched after their first ball, they have 2 more balls after that. They have 3 balls in total. If you don't get picked by your 3rd ball, or if something happens and you're deemed unworthy of being with anyone at all, you will pray that Cinderella comes and visit, or the fairy godmother comes and visits you, like the fairy godmother came and visited Cinderella. And if you don't have enough faith and you can't afford good clothes, then there's nothing, then the fairy godmother won't come visit you. And if that's the case, then you're sent away. Now, this is happening 200 years past Cinderella, okay? Now, Sophia is on the cover, this cute little black girl. She would rather die. She doesn't want any parts of any of that. She doesn't even like men. She wants to be with her life partner. I'm rolling my eyes at Emily, and I just read the book, y'all. She escapes the night of the ball, and she finds herself in Cinderella's mausoleum, where she meets Constance. I love Constance. Constance is a direct descendant of Cinderella. In fact, Cinderella's step sister was her mom, or her grandmom, and they meet up. Their love story is beautiful. Oh my gosh. They end up going to the White Woods. They end up meeting a few people. Y'all, this book was giving me very much so Grace Year, very much Handmaid's Tale. Next, don't act up. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Bet. Next, we have The Wicker King by Kay Ancrum. This book was so good. This book was giving me black boy joy. The relationship between August and Jack and the twins, and August and Jack and Rena, the fact that this was like a true story of friendship, y'all.
What is going on above me in Philadelphia? Why are all of these sounds?
Anyway, yes, it talked about mental health, but the most important thing that I got from this was the friendships, and not even Jack and August by themselves. I'm talking about Jack and August and other people, because it was the fact that the twins realized that, homeboy, he might be a little, like, we're not trying to say he got nothing or nothing, but our mom is a psychiatrist, and we're some mental health patients, and she tells us about some of these cases, and we've been flipping through her book, and we really think that Jack might have something wrong with him. It was the friendship. Like, they knew that they were good enough to bring that to them, to express their concerns and know that they were going to be taken seriously. They paid attention to their friend. The relationship that they had with Rena, and they would use Rena's house to, just chill, hang out, drink, smoke, just vibe and stuff. And Rena noticed that August and Jack were using her as a crutch. One of them had a crush on her and blah, blah, blah. But they were using her place as a crutch because then they didn't have to go back to their real lives and be around their parents who really weren't even doing anything anyway. Ugh, hated them. She loved them enough to give them accountability. Like, you guys can't come back here until he gets help. it's the power of friendship for me. Next, we have American Street by Ibi Zoboi. Now, Ibi Zoboi is easily becoming one of my favorite authors of this year. She ate this up. This book follows Fabiola. She finds herself in Chicago with her aunt and her 3 cousins. Her mother is not there. Her mom was supposed to be there, but she got held up in customs, sent to New Jersey. ICE detained her, basically, right? So now she makes a deal with this detective to turn in this like kingpin in their town, and when she turns him in, then they'll get the mother out the joint, right? She's new. She don't know that you're not supposed to snitch. She not hip to it yet. She just wants her mom. Like, getting her mom here with her is the most important thing. Her cousins, there's Prima Donna, there's Princess, and Chantal. Donna, who's dealing with her man situation. And it turns out that the kingpin that Fabiola is supposed to be putting away is Donna's man. Then she finds out that it really isn't Donna's man that she's supposed to be putting away, but she can't put away the people she wants to put away. Then she falls in love with the love of my life, Kasim. Y'all. Oh, but yes, this book was really good. It portrayed the American perspective of Haitian immigrants. Because reading this, I definitely was like, yeah, like, Americans really think this way about Haitians. And it was so accurate, so on the nose. She used phrases in Creole, which y'all already know I'm always here for. Next, we have The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. This book was so good. Wow. This book follows Tierney. She lives in a society now where men think that women can poison them with their skin. They have magic oozing from their skin when they turn 16. So every summer they go into the woods for a year to purge themselves and let all their magic out into the woods. I know, I went to an all-girls school. You can't have too many girls in the same place at the same time. It's too much. Yeah, so now she has to basically form a rebellion. She falls in love, but it works with the story, so I allowed it. If you like The Handmaid's Tale, or like an idea of a dystopian novel that is eerily close to the truth, you would really like this. I really like this book. Next, we have No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I read this in November, so you will be hearing about this again, but this book was so good. I was telling people, like, I never felt such a personal connection to a book when it came to like gentrification and the very real fear that exists when people in neighborhoods are being forced out by the raised property taxes. The very real fear that I talk about when I talk about gentrification. I will probably read it again because I listened to it. And even the relationship that she has with Theo, he's this little white boy who is down for the cause, but she and him very quickly established a system for when his activism is seeming performative. Like, there's one scene where they were going to this museum together and he showed up with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on, and she was like, please change your shirt. And he was offended at first, and she was just like, I'm not gonna be the black girl who's walking around with the white guy with a Black Lives Matter shirt. Like, if you say Black Lives Matter, just show us it matters. You don't have to wear the shirt. Like, that's embarrassing for me. Theo's a really good example of what happens when you just listen to black people when they're talking, you know? Next, we have Remembrance by Rita Woods. It follows 4 Haitian women, Gael, Abigail, Margot, and a 4th character whose name I do not reveal when I talk about this book, because that is part of the story, is figuring out who she is. Abigail is a slave in Haiti, ended up going to New Orleans, getting freedom, and she creates this town that is invisible to white men. It is a town where slaves will run to and get their freedom. Is a high priestess, right? So she used her magic in order to keep this town going for as long as she did. But unfortunately, she's getting older. That's when she meets Margot, and the third, she who shall not be named. And now Gael's in the story because she is connected to this resident at her nursing home job, which is so funny because a lot of Haitian women are nurses in nursing homes. So that was a cute little connection that I made. Again, so there's the whole dual timeline going on. Book phrases in Creole, phrases in French, even the first page, the relationship between Haiti and New Orleans, historical fiction, historical fantasy. I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed it. Next, we have Elizabeth Acevedo's Clap When You Land. This book, y'all heard me talk about this. So good. Yahaira and Camino, they have the same father. They did not know each other existed until the father dies in a plane crash on his way to the Dominican Republic to visit Camino. The writing, beautiful. And it's written in verse, so it's a really quick read. I think I read it in a day. So good. Last but not least, we have Legendborn by Tracy Dion. What? This book combines Arthurian folklore with African spirituality. Bree goes to this college enrichment program over at UNC, and she gets tied up with this Descendants of King Arthur secret society, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna join. On top of her being a secret spy in the secret society, traipsing around with the descendant of King Arthur, she is learning about African spirituality and the connection that her mama had with it. Girl, now she's trying to figure stuff out. She falls in love, child. Selwyn, he did a whole 180 because I thought he was one way and then he flipped, and then I was like, oh my God, I love you. Like, flipped like a pancake.
Baking pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes.
It was just a lot going on. This book was so good, y'all. Like, not now. One point I was bored. I annotated her. Child. As soon as I finished it, I wanted to read it again, child.
I think I just might. No, girl, you can't. You got a lot of books to read in the summer. Anyway.
Alright, that's all I have for you for today. I have to go because I have more videos to record and I have more books to read. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you seeing me in the next one. Bye.